On the way to find Pierre Edwards, I had a car accident and had a miscarriage. I am Sophia Brightman. I was in a life-or-death situation in the operating room, but he and his childhood sweetheart, Clara Owen, were having their engagement party. Pierre said, Clara suffers from anxiety disorder and the engagement party is to fulfill her wish. If we lose our child, we can still have another one. Pierre's mother, Eleanor Edwards, said, Tisk, you're planning to get married because of you're pregnant, but now the child is gone, that's just perfect. I was so disheartened that I broke up with him. Clara said, woman should not be spoiled. If she loves you, she should know how to comfort herself. She was right, but I did not love him anymore. On my way to find Pierre, I had a car accident. At the traffic light, a driver ran through the yellow light and knocked me to the ground as I was about to move forward. I instinctively held my stomach tightly. The pedestrians around gradually stopped. The driver got off the car and looked at me with a look of bad luck. Why are you pretending? It's just a small scratch. Are you trying to scam me? He was right, the car did not hit me directly and under normal circumstances it would probably have been just a minor scratch. But I had a 2-month-old baby in my belly. I did not have the strength to argue with him. One of the pedestrians on the street saw me touching my belly and even exclaimed in alarm. Call 120 quickly, she's a pregnant woman. At this moment, a girl squatted beside me and asked me gently, Ms., give me your phone, I will call your family. I pointed painfully to the mobile phone that had fallen to the ground beside me and said the password weakly. After unlocking my mobile phone, the girl looked at my husband's most recent messages and dialed the number. But after a few seconds, no one answered the phone call. She anxiously called again and finally the person on the other end of the phone answered. She turned on the speakerphone and spoke in my ear. Hello, your wife had a car accident at XX location. Could you please come over? After a while, the girl handed me the phone and said to me anxiously, you go to the hospital first. Your husband said he will try his best to come over. Soon, I was carried into the ambulance on a stretcher and lost consciousness due to the pain. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying on the hospital bed, wearing a hospital gown and there were 2 nurses who came in to check on me. They turned their backs to me and whispered. This man is such a jerk. His wife got into a car accident and had a miscarriage, but he didn't even come to see her. I caught some words clearly in my ears. Miscarriage? My child is gone. I suddenly exclaimed, which startled the nurses. They looked at me sympathetically. One of the nurses said, we understand your feelings, but it's an accident, you have to be strong and calm yourself. After saying that, she went out and told the doctor that the patient in bed number 7 had woken up. I looked at my flat stomach and tears streamed down my cheeks. All the grievances were vented at this moment. Pierre and I had been together for 6 years. He proposed to me this year and soon after, I became pregnant with this child before marriage. He promised me that we would get married within a month. However, because of this child, I had endured countless ridicules. Pierre's mother kept pressuring me after seeing that I was pregnant. Why are girls nowadays so lacking in self-love so much? They get pregnant before getting married and getting married with a big belly, how will other families look at us? Her sarcastic tone made me feel embarrassed for a moment. I glanced at Pierre for help, but he remained silent at the dining table. My parents' faces turned pale and as soon as they left the dining table, they scolded me for being a money loser and bringing shame to our Brightman family. However, I endured it all for the sake of this child. But today, due to a car accident, the child passed away. I wiped my tears while sobbing. The pain in my body was not even half as great as the pain in my heart. At this time, a nurse came over and asked me in a friendly manner, where are your family members? Our hospital needs your family members to pay the bill. I quickly wiped away my tears and called Pierre. It took a long time for the call to be answered. I choked up and said, Pierre, where have you been? Our child is gone. After saying that, tears slid down my face. In no time, someone spoke up on the other end of the phone and it was a strong female voice. Gone. It's good that it's gone. You're planning to get married because of you're pregnant, but now the child is gone, that's just perfect. Her voice was filled with joy. I froze in place. This voice was Eleanor. I sorted out my emotions and politely said, Auntie, please give the phone to Pierre and I'll talk to him. However, she said, my son is getting engaged to Clara, so he doesn't have time to care about your trivial matters. He is toasting now. Do you want to attend the engagement party? There was even Pierre's voice on the other end of the phone saying, please enjoy the food and drinks. I thought of what the girl said before. Your husband will try his best to come over. I was still thinking about him. What could be more important than my car accident? But now I got the answer. My brain went blank and the string in my mind suddenly snapped. Casually hung up the phone and calmly said to the nurse, I'll take care of it. Hearing this, the nurse looked at me with compassionate eyes and said, then give me your phone. You can pay the bill in our mini app. I'll help you with the process. This was the second sympathetic gaze I received after I woke up. In their eyes, I seemed very pitiful. After she left, I quickly checked my social media on my phone. As expected, Clara posted a photo of herself with Pierre and a caption that said she was engaged to the person she grew up with since childhood. My fingers trembled slightly and the pain after the anesthesia came back, but I lost consciousness because of this photo and caption. I learned about Clara from Eleanor. In her words, she was a PhD who returned from overseas. She was an excellent and independent girl. Whenever talking about her, Eleanor would insult me and say that Clara was not a cheap girl like me, who only knew how to use Pierre's money every day. After saying that, Eleanor glared at me. But instead of refuting his mother's words, Pierre showed a doting smile when his mother mentioned Clara. This girl has always liked to be with me since she was child. I told her that boy and girl should not be intimate with each other, but she doesn't look like a young girl at all. Now she has grown into a mature girl. Later on, Clara often appeared in Pierre's and my life and became the third person between us. When Clara was sick, he was taking care of her. When there was a power outage at Clara's house, he was accompanying her. In order to reassure me, Pierre even asked me to go with her, but I refused. So I thought it was just a sister's dependence on her brother. However, I did not expect Pierre to tell me that she confessed her feelings to him. He asked me how to reject her without hurting her feelings. He did not want her to be hurt. I was stunned. I should have thought of it earlier. They were childhood sweethearts, so it was normal